Portions of the following program may have been pre-recorded.
The following programs, views, claims, or ideas may not reflect those of WSRR Radio or WSRRradio.com. Viewer discretion is advised.
And now, we take you behind enemy lines with Lucas DeRazio and Dom Ferro on WSRR Radio.
All Browns fans will go to heaven where football season's never ending. The leaves have changed, smell it in the air. Where every morning is a Sunday morning, the grill is firing and the drinks are pouring. All Browns fans will go to heaven and our Modell can go to hell.
Welcome to another exciting episode of Behind Enemy Lines right here on WSRR Radio, nationally local, meaning we play your local bands coast to coast on a national stage. I'm Lucas DeRazio, joined as always by Dom Ferro here on WSRR Radio for your Cleveland sports talk show from Pittsburgh and now also from Philadelphia. As I made the big move yesterday, headed out eastward, and now we are officially in the city of Philadelphia. Me and Dom are doing another little virtual recording, a remote recording, which is probably how we're going to be doing a lot of our recordings moving forward. Dom, you're looking great on my phone screen.
Yeah, this is good. We got the whole state covered now.
That's right.
Originally, it was just Pittsburgh. We're covering the entire Keystone State. We're going to get a deeper look into what's going on in the NFC East, but of course, we're still a Pittsburgh and Cleveland show. Those are our roots, but we're just expanding. I think this is just going to make the show even better.
Now we're not only coast to coast nationally, but coast to coast Pennsylvania-wise, West Coast in Pittsburgh, East Coast in Philly. So yeah,
which is all
we're
that
out
matters.
Here. We're out
honestly.
here. The city's treating me all right so far. Cost of living out here is crazy. I feel like everything's way more expensive. Like really? I got 3 breakfast sandwiches and 2 coffees this morning, and it was like $60, and I was not loving that, to be honest.
It's a rude awakening to Philly, huh?
Yeah, it is. It's that was tough to see, but I was like, all right, I guess that's how it's gonna be,
This is just life now. Have you been to Wawa yet?
I have not been to a Wawa yet. No, we got a couple sandwiches yesterday. We got a sandwich this morning. That's about it. We drove the U-Haul across the state yesterday. And I was getting a little emotional. I'm not going to lie. I never thought, I was saying to my wife and my dad and some other friends, like 8 years ago when I came to Pittsburgh as a freshman in college, I honestly did not think that when I was leaving it, I would be like, damn, I'm going to miss this place, which is, it was weird to think about, all the things that I would have told, if I would have told all the things that I've gone through and everything that I'm doing now to myself 8 years ago, I don't know if I would have believed it, It's crazy, that growth.
It is wild. It is wild to see, and how fast time is moving too, especially since college. But yeah, I kind of feel the same way with Pittsburgh. It's just a special town. It's just different than a lot of cities. I know when I leave here, if I leave here, I probably will eventually, but I know I'm gonna miss it a lot just because you don't see a lot of cities like Pittsburgh. It's a great place, great people. But Philly's not too bad. I think you're gonna
Philly's
love it
not
there.
too bad thus far. I will say, I don't know. I don't think this is actually happening, but I feel like because I'm just, obviously brand spanking new here. I feel like people are looking at me like I don't belong. They're like, oh, that guy's a tourist. You know what I mean? You get that idea thus far. I feel like I'm on vacation still a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like you'll settle in though. I feel like Philadelphia, they're not it's kind of closest thing to a melting pot is New York.
Yeah.
You're getting a little bit of everything. Philly is so much different and bigger than Pittsburgh. It's probably night and day. But you got to get yourself a Philly cheesesteak. That's
I'm
number
excited.
one.
That's tonight for dinner. We're gonna go. I think we're either gonna go to Angelo's or Gino's. I don't know. I've heard Angelo's is the best. I think that's what someone said.
I haven't had Angelo's. I think that you're probably right. Gino's.
I've heard Gino's is overrated.
Gino's and Pat's are the 2 most popular. My favorite, D'Alessandro's.
I'll have to start giving some reports. I'll
Yeah,
start getting
yeah.
reports. The first cheesesteak that I had last week from Arby's. I will say, Arby's cheesesteak was pretty solid. Now that was in Pittsburgh. I still had it. I don't know if they'll sell them here in Philly. You might just get your ass beat if you get seen
Yeah.
eating a Arby's cheesesteak. But it was good. It had the Cooper Sharp on there, solid beef. It was good stuff. Arby's
Arby's
is slept on again, which I feel like we've talked about on this show before. But like, I had mad respect for the Arby's cheesesteak.
Did you get the curly fries with it?
Of course, the curly
Need
fries
to.
are they're the coup de grace.
Now, that was something that one of my coworkers was talking to me about Arby's the other day. It's like, man, I love those curly fries. He almost convinced me to go back. But I did see an ad for that cheesesteak. It's got like the sesame seed bun, I'm pretty sure, too.
Yeah.
Like that was a nice little prep for moving to Philly. Your mind's going to be blown, though, when you get a real Philly cheesesteak.
We'll see. So last night I got a sandwich. It was called the Tush Push, first off. So I was like, all right, I feel like I got to get that.
Yeah.
And it was on that Philly bread, that sesame seed bread that someone, my friend from New Jersey told me what it was called yesterday, but now I forget what it was. Something like I don't know, whatever. And that stuff will give you a jaw workout, though. I'll tell you what, it was tough. It was tough on the outside a little bit to get through, and like I think it's built that way so that it doesn't get soggy, like with the cheesesteak and stuff in there, and like the melty Cooper Sharp, and the caramelized onions and peppers. But that stuff, like I might come out looking like a looks max or like just absolutely cut jawline, like absolutely perfect jawline after living here in Philly.
That's what clavicular needs to do. Just eat
Yeah.
that bread. It is
come out and
a
eat that.
thick outer crust on those rolls.
Yeah,
But I like it.
No, it was good stuff. I was impressed. I was impressed with it. It wasn't too bad.
Their pretzels are great too. Got to get a soft pretzel.
I've heard that the soft pretzels in Philly. Well, there's the Philly Pretzel Factory. I've seen that. Like that's a place in Pittsburgh. I've seen a store called the Philly Pretzel Factory or Pretzel whatever.
That's right. I think
Those are all right.
I think that you got to get a homemade one. You got to go down to the Reading Terminal Market, find
Okay.
yourself a fresh pretzel. And that's all you got to do. Now,
These
have
are
you
these are
have
my
you and your wife
go-tos.
started like working yet, or are you still settling in this week?
Monday, I start work. We're recording this, by the way, on Wednesday, July 15th at 10:53 a.m. So I start work on Monday, the 20th. Kelly, my wife, starts on August 3rd, so she gets like a nice full month off. Her last day
Nice.
was July 4th at her old job, so we're going to be like fully just unpacking, getting the house ready, up until then.
That's the way to do it. Moving sucks. We're both kind
Yeah.
of going through this right now at the same time. It's got to be up there for like the worst things that you just have to do during life
Yeah.
that aren't like that isn't like punishment or like losing something, I guess. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I was like, yeah, I don't even mind like moving big stuff. Like I'm fine with like part of me almost like, I don't know if it's just like, I'm like a masochist or what, like, but I like moving like couches and dressers and like the beds, the big stuff I'm fine with. Like I actually kind of get excited for it almost like, and when we were loading the U-Haul, like in Pittsburgh, I was like, yeah, this is easy. This is fine. But then once you get into all the small stuff that you got to put in the boxes, and then you got to unload the boxes and figure out where it all goes and cut it all up. Like yesterday, our whole living room was just covered in boxes, like taped shut. And like after I had set up the dresser and built the bed frame and like put the mattresses on and like, I was just like, I was lost. I was wandering around like a lost puppy because it was like, all these boxes have like wall decor and stuff. And I'm like, well, we're not going to hang stuff up yet. Like we don't even have our couch yet. So I was just like wandering around the house, like lost.
Yeah, you move all those boxes and you're like, where do I even begin right now?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how I felt. I was like, where do I start with? And
I moved into this place at the beginning of July, and we're still like getting a little like things in order here and there, getting some. It's like a bigger place, so we're just getting more stuff to like fill out, I guess. So we got like this like kitchen, it's like dining room table off of Facebook Marketplace my girlfriend found. So she's like, all right, we need to go pick this table up at 7:30 tonight. I'm like, okay, no big deal. She's like, there's like a table and 4 chairs. So like, I think we'll take both of our cars. We should be able to move it all. So I get to this place. I see this table I bring like some tools with me, thinking that I could like maybe take the legs off, but these legs have it's like a ratchet type thing. I don't have a ratchet with me
Oh God.
to take these legs off. So we tried to like put in my car.
And I'm guessing that the owner, the guy who was selling it, just absolutely no help.
I didn't even, so we like Venmo'd him or whatever. He just left it on his porch. So I never had any interaction with this guy. Like I'm able to like fit the table in my car. Like I'm able to like slide it in, but the last two legs like stick up too high where I can't shut my trunk.
Oh God.
And I don't have anything to like tie my trunk down. I don't have anything to really tie the table down either. But I'm like, we drove like 20 plus minutes.
I was going to say, how
there.
far is this place from you?
It was like it was probably like 20, 25 minutes, but it was out in Squirrel Hill. And if you're a Pittsburgher right now, you know that they just shut down the Squirrel Hill tunnel. So it's absolute hell getting over to that area. So I'm like, I'm not coming back here. Like, I'm going to figure out a way to like tie this thing down. And so like I use like the seat belts, you know, I pull them out as far as I can. They click back in. They're like locked in there. So I tie those up to like the two legs. I'm like, all right, I don't think this thing is going to move. But how do I make sure that my trunk doesn't just like go wide open?
Yeah.
And the only thing I have in my car are like towels from my golf bag. So I'm like, I just used towels, tied a few towels together and tried to tie them to like something in my car. So then I'm driving back home, and maybe about like 10 minutes in, those towels like unravel, and my trunk is just like wide open. It just like every time I hit a little like a pothole or a bump, like it goes up even more. And like there's a point where I'm like, I'm probably about 10 minutes away from my place. I've driven about halfway there, and this thing just keeps on going up. It's basically like completely up at this point. And I'm on I forget. I'm on some bridge going through some tunnel. I don't remember what one.
Yeah.
But I'm about to get through this tunnel. I'm like, I cannot go through this tunnel with my trunk wide open. Like if this table falls out in the tunnel,
yeah.
What am I gonna do?
That's bad business for everyone.
If it falls off on a highway or a road, like I guess I could figure out a way to get out and like pull it off to the side and get out of there quick. But if it's in a tunnel, like I'm out of luck. Like there's like it's probably a crime.
Not only you, but like everyone behind you too is just screwed.
Yeah. Luckily, like there wasn't much traffic that day. But anyways, I make a detour. I turn right before I get into the tunnel. I'm like, I can't do this. So then I go up like straight uphill through like Mount Washington, and you know every time I hit a speed bump up there, it goes up more. So eventually I was like close enough where I'm like, all right, I'm just getting home. But like the last 5 minutes, I'm like going through Mount Washington, like the overlook area kind of, and there's a bunch of people walking around like, your trunk is open. Oh, you shut your trunk.
Like you didn't know.
Yeah, I'm like, shut up. I'm like, please, like I'm like freaking out right now. Eventually I did get home, but it was like one of the most stressful experiences I've had outside of work in a long time.
I thought you were going to say that you were so desperate to like find something to tie the trunk down that you took your shoelaces off your shoes and just used
That would have
those.
been a good idea. I should have thought about that.
That's not a bad idea, right? I just came up with that now.
I really should have used that one. I definitely would have done that.
That's genius.
Oh,
I thought you were going to say you were driving. I thought you were going to say you were driving with your left hand on the wheel and just reaching your right hand back into the back seat, just gripping onto the table for dear life.
There's a few times I was thinking about it. The other part of this story is the whole 20 minutes my car is just beeping like crazy.
Oh, I'm sure.
You know, you shouldn't be driving with your trunk open.
Your car is doing the same thing that all the people on Mount Washington were doing, where it's like, you're drunk.
Pretty much. So it was chaos, and it was not fun at all.
No, it's never fun, especially like the odds and ends like that, like where when you're moving and you're trying to get something, especially if you don't have like a truck, like, you know, those are the moments. There's about like one time a year where I'm like, it would be really nice to have a truck, but like that's it. Those are the only times you need it. It's not like, I don't know, for that one time a year, it's not worth getting 15 miles to the gallon, you know, the rest of the year. Yeah. So.
Trucks it can be a good tool, but yeah, like it's not worth it.
a truck is like a boat to me. It's like you don't want to have a truck. You want to know a guy who has a truck. You don't want a boat. You want to know a guy who has a boat. So that's these are parables to live by, not parables.
But it always interesting. It's always interesting to me, like the guys that do have trucks. 'Cause, like they never have a good reason for why they have a truck. It's not like, oh yeah, I move stuff all the time.
Yeah,
it's like, nah, I just thought it was sick.
Yeah, I have this one quote. I don't know if I should call him a friend, but this guy in college who he had one of those Jeep trucks, and I remember when I was moving like from the dorm rooms to an apartment in Southside. He actually was one of my roommates in this house in Southside, and I was like, hey man, like I need to pick up this bed frame. Like can I can you come with me like with your truck? Like it doesn't have a huge bed, but like, I just need something, whatever. And he's like, well, like I could, but it's, then it'll scratch up the bed of my truck. And I was like, yeah, that's what it's for. That's what the bed of your truck is for, to throw stuff in there and like get it scratched. Like, who cares? He was like, well, no, I don't know. This is a newer truck. I don't want to do that. I was also like, it's a bed frame. Like I'm not breaking up concrete with a jackhammer and chucking it in there, dude. Like, come on.
You probably put it in there pretty light.
Yeah, I was like, I think it'll be fine. Like, he was like, well, it's not the bed's not that long, so like I don't know if if the tailgate will shut. And I was like, that's fine, we can strap it in. He's like, I don't want to haul anything in it. I was like, then why do you have the truck?
Yeah.
What is the purpose?
Ground?
Yeah, he wouldn't let me do it, and he was like, I think Eric has a truck. You should ask Eric. He maybe he can do it. I was like, all right, thanks a lot. Like that, whatever. I will ask Eric. And he helped me out.
For nothing.
Yeah, seriously. I was like, what a jerk. Like, why do you have what is the point of having this Jeep truck with a flat bed if you're not going to use it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Truck
I don't know.
Guys.
Truck guys, most of them intrigue me. My brother, my dad used to have a truck that he would only use like, very like really just for work stuff. Like he would haul trail like, if he had a trailer like for his boat, he would put it on there, obviously with the hitch. And for a while, we used to have like a trailer that we'd go around and put lawnmowers on it and go and cut people's grass. So like he used it a good amount. And like again, he didn't care. He'd bang up the bed and stuff and like whatever.
Yeah.
But he barely ever used it. Like by the end of him having it, like he hardly ever used it. And like he didn't even he didn't want to pay the insurance on it anymore. So like for the most part, it just kind of sat in our. Like, for years we got a lot of use out of it. Then it just kind of sat in our driveway next to our house. And then my brother was like, I'm going to get a truck. Like, I want to get a Ford F-150, like a nice one, like whatever. Mm-hmm. And my dad was like, that's perfect. Now I can sell my truck. And if I ever need a truck, I can use yours. And my brother was like, no, if I'm buying this truck, I'm not buying it for everyone. It's mine. And my dad was pissed.
Really?
And like for like over like a year or two, while my brother had this like very, very nice brand new Ford F-150, my dad had this like, 20-year-old one that he like barely ever used, but like, and he was paying the insurance on it basically just so that he could use it like, maybe once every other month or something like that. Mm-hmm. Finally, my brother caved and like came to his senses, and like now my dad, of course, uses it all the time. My dad just drove to Indiana from Cleveland. He drove to like near Cincinnati to stay at a friend's house, then over to Indiana to South Bend near Notre Dame to buy this boat trailer. Then he drove to Indianapolis from there to get the boat, this new pontoon boat that he just got, put that on the trailer, then drove back to Southern Ohio to stay at his friend's house for the night, and then drove up to Cleveland to go home, all in my brother's truck. So obviously things have changed a little bit since when he first got it.
He was putting some miles on it this weekend.
Oh, yeah. He definitely was. And then, so he did that like a week or two ago. So he was driving, a truck with this huge, like this pontoon boat's massive. It's like a tri-tune, they call it. So it's got like the 3 pontoon, whatever, floatable things in the middle. Like this is a big, long boat. And then, so he did that. And again, this was like a full like day or two excursion of driving. And then yesterday we got a 20-foot U-Haul. And then on the back of it was a trailer that was hauling my car. So he drove that from Pittsburgh to Philadelphia for 5 hours. So he's gotten his he's gotten his fair share of hauling in over the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, he should just be a trucker at this point.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. He should just get his CDL.
He's ready.
He's ready to go,
Unbelievable.
man. He's loving it. That's his thing.
Have you been watching World Cup at all?
I have been watching a little bit. I missed yesterday was the big France and Spain game where Spain knocked them off, which I was shocked about to see. I didn't get to actually watch the game because we were moving stuff. Today, in 4 hours from when we're recording this, is England versus Argentina, which are two of the favorites in the tournament. So I really would like to see that. The only issue is we don't have Wi-Fi set up at the house yet. So I'm either going to have to go to a local pub and watch it there, or set up a hotspot or do something like that. But I would really like to watch that game. I haven't, over the last, really since the U.S. played and lost, I haven't gotten to watch any World Cup, which I was pretty into it, in the group stages and in the first round of 32. So we can talk about that a little more in the second segment. So stick with us here on Behind Enemy Lines. We can get a little bit of football talk in from Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. Stick with us here on WSR Radio.
The following State of the Union is brought to you by WSRR Radio in partnership with GenericClothes.com.
My fellow Americans, for weeks now, people have been asking me for the files. They want the truth. They want the names. They've said, show us the names. Well, today I'm going to do just that. These are the files. Page 1, we have it on good authority that was sending to. We know this because of his involvement with terrible guy, honestly. Of course, this means, unfortunately, and were also involved due to communications between and investigators believe may have known about as early as 2001, terrible year, which raises serious questions about and whether or not, and regrettably,
there's a time for details. Your clothing brand isn't it. Nobody cares about those details. Get to the point with GenericClothes.com.
Based out of Chicago, Synergy Music Studio is built for artists who care about the sound of their music. From recording, mixing, and mastering to full production and live studio sessions, Synergy works hands-on to help artists turn ideas into finished professional releases. They support the Chicago scene and they welcome new artists anytime. If you're serious about your sound, start at synergymusicstudio.com today.
Playing the ball where it lies. Lucas and Dom are back on WSRR Radio.
Welcome back to Behind Enemy Lines right here on WSRR Radio, brought to you by our proud partners at YourBuddiesGarage.com. Your Buddies Garage sells a selection of salvaged, used, and scrapped auto parts and accessories, perfect for a quick fix or a first stop before you shop. Before you pay a pro, see where your buddies got at YourBuddiesGarage.com. Dom Ferro, we know that Your Buddies Garage is taking care of us, bolstering up the station WSRR Radio, supporting the show. And speaking of holding us up, I meant to do this earlier at the top of the pod, really, but I wanted to give a big hand to you. I appreciate the solo pod, the solo episode last week. Spectacular effort, spectacular showing. I was listening to it on the way to a camping trip in the Allegheny National Forest, and it helped the 3-hour drive go by a little quicker. So I wanted to give a big hand. It was spectacular. I was loving the content.
It was a lot of fun to do by myself. I think I was able to get a little. I had to get a little creative to really stretch out the full hour.
Oh yeah.
So the first segment I ran through all my topics, and then I just had to, kind of do it on the fly. But my throat was absolutely killing me afterwards.
Pause.
My throat was sore as heck.
I owe you a solo episode now. So if in the near future, expect that you may be getting a solo pod from me to give Dom a little bit of a break after his sore throat.
Give me the
after
week
his
off.
neck is sore.
It was a flu game.
Yeah, but you put the team on your back there, so I appreciate that. But you did get to talk about a little bit of the World Cup, and we're going to do that in this segment as well. The semifinals wrapping up this week. By the time this airs, the semifinals will be over, and the finals of the FIFA World Cup will be set. We can go back to the quarterfinals really quick. France beat Morocco 2-0. They looked like a powerhouse through then. Like we said, they did go into the semifinals and lose to Spain 2-0. Spain beat Belgium, who obviously they were the team that bounced the U.S. in the round of 16. The big game that I wanted to watch a little bit more of that I didn't get to watch as much as I would have liked to was Norway versus England. These were two, Norway, I think, had a lot of Mo behind them, and you were talking about Haaland in last week's episode a lot and how fun he is to watch. And I totally agree with you that, and I actually said it in a group message to some of my friends from high school earlier in the week that, like, that's a guy who, if he grew up in the United States, like, he'd be playing wide receiver, like for the Vikings. And of course it would be for the Vikings because he's Norwegian.
He might be even big enough where he could be like a tight end.
That was another thing I was thinking about. He could be a tight end, and like, because he probably would have, trained to be a tight end instead of a striker who's running, 8 miles a game or whatever the average soccer player runs.
Yeah.
I mean, I would expect him to be like 30 pounds heavier if he did grow up in the United States and played football. I don't know exactly what his
like 6'5"
measurements are, but let's take a look here. Erling Haaland, raccoon. Why did that come up?
He did buy a raccoon. One of his souvenirs they bought from the U.S. was a raccoon, like a taxidermy raccoon holding a bottle of whiskey. It was like $400. Oh. He carried that off the plane with him back to Norway.
So ESPN has him listed at 6'5", 205.
Yeah. I mean, that's a unit.
Google AI has him listed at 6'4", 265, and 194. So at his current height and weight, but that's the other thing too, is like, he's fast. Like, I don't know what his 40 time is, like, because I don't think they run 40 times really, like training for soccer. So. But like, he's fast enough probably to play NFL wide receiver.
They said it would roughly be translated to like a 4.5 40.
Oh, okay. Maybe he would play tight, but yeah, I mean, like, if he grew up in playing football and he was 6'5" and 205 right now, I would say he'd probably be 6'5", 240. Maybe even 250. That could definitely pass for an NFL tight end, right?
Yeah, there's some videos here, some TikToks. It's Haaland speed versus NFL. I might have to save this for later. They got the thumbnail is him next to Tyreek Hill. I don't know if he's quite that fast, but
yeah, I don't know about that. But I could see him being like a Brock Bowers, like,
yeah,
using him in that way a lot.
I'd like to see him on defense, honestly.
Okay,
like an edge rusher,
outside backer, yeah, edge rusher,
yeah,
I like that. He would be, it would be interesting to see.
Now,
but I want to put him on offense. I want to see that.
The unfortunate thing about Haaland that I just figured out yesterday. So I knew that he plays for Man City, right?
Uh-huh.
But I just found out yesterday that Man City is like the most dominant team in all of soccer. So like, if you pick them as your team, it's basically like if you picked the Warriors as your favorite team like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So you can't really do that, which is unfortunate.
They're like that would be like picking the Chiefs.
Exactly.
Like now as your new team, which I did. I don't know. I've never known a ton about like the Premier League or anything. But like a year or two ago, maybe even 3 years, I reached out to my one friend who played soccer in high school, and like, he's big into the Premier League. I remember staying over his house on a Saturday night one time, and then like woke up and they had the Premier League on Sunday morning at like 9 a.m., which, by the way, that's another reason I kind of would like to get into the Premier League. I think that would be that's a fun waking up on Sunday morning and just like having breakfast while soccer games are on.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty nice. So I think that's
drink a cup of coffee with it at the local
exactly
pub.
A cup of coffee and some flapjacks while watching whoever your Premier League team is would be pretty nice.
Yeah, I've seen some people around Pittsburgh, like they'll find like the Arsenal bar or like the
I was gonna say, or you go to the pub at 9 a.m.
Yeah,
get a cheeky pint, some kegs and eggs, and watch the game,
get
watch
a
the
hash
match.
brown. Yeah, it is kind of appealing, and I feel like out in Philly, there's got to be so many more like soccer fans.
That's why this might be where I picked that up.
Might
but
be the time.
That was like 3 years ago. Again, I didn't know a ton about soccer or football. But I remember seeing Erling Haaland and being like, and seeing that he was on Man City, because I knew that they were like, you know, they're one of the, in soccer too, it's a lot like baseball, where it's like the richest team for the most part is going to win.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's no salary cap. It's just all about contracts.
They're pretty much the Yankees of the Premier League.
Exactly. Yes. They're the Yankees, the Dodgers of the Premier League, where it's like, you know, they have the most money, so they can buy the best players like Erling Haaland. And I think they also have Jude Bellingham, who's, you know, he's been one of their premier players in this tournament for England. Obviously, Harry Kane's kind of their number one big name, but Bellingham's a younger guy who's been, you know, playing great.
Yeah.
So I, like, when I first saw Haaland, like, I didn't know anything about him. I just saw like this tall Draco Malfoy looking guy with a little bit longer hair, and like I was like, he seems like, you know, kind of like a punk or something. Like, he's on the richest team and like all these things. So I didn't like him. I didn't like him a bit much. But like, now that I'm seeing him, you know, with his country, with Norway, and now I'm seeing more stuff of him, like, you know, the off the field clips and things like that. It's like, nah, this is a guy you can't not like.
Exactly. Yeah, I think I'm the same way. Like, I definitely had seen this guy in the past, but it wasn't enough for me to like be interested. But this whole World Cup run that he's had, it's made me follow him on Instagram. I don't follow any other soccer players.
Wow.
I don't follow Leo Messi. I don't follow Mbappe. Like, those are the true stars, right? Or Ronaldo. I don't follow any of those guys. But Haaland, I'm like, this guy's just cool. Like, I need to see what he's up to.
He seems like he's got a good sense of humor too. Like, some of the stuff I've seen, like, on like his Snapchat stories, and like, which I think is hilarious that he uses Snapchat, like, and stuff like that. But he seems like a good, like, down to earth for the most part, and like silly, fun loving guy. But
one of the
unfortunately,
one of the most viral moments he had during this was there were like these kids that were like waiting to meet the players and something. There was this one like bigger kid who like had his back turned to Haaland, and Haaland like smacks him on the shoulder. People are like, he's acting like it was like his best bud from back home. Like, hits this big dude on the shoulder. This big kid like turns around, and he's like the happiest kid ever. He's like Haaland. He like daps him up and stuff, and he put that picture like in his Instagram dump, as they would say, of him him dapping up.
You are
the big
up
fella
on his Instagram.
He's just the man. He's captivated me. Something interesting that I saw here: Manchester City is the 7th most valuable soccer club in the world. Now, if it's just
soccer club or foot or like sports organization,
just soccer. Now, if it's just Premier League, they're the 3rd most valuable. Manchester United's number 1, Liverpool is number 2, and then Man City at 3.
Liverpool's number 2, really, because I heard Liverpool was down this year. On my honeymoon, I was talking to some English blokes, and the one guy that he was on like the shuttle with me from one resort to the other, and like me and this guy were shoulder to shoulder, and he was an older gentleman, like 50s or 60s, and he was like, "Oh, where are you from?" Like, whatever, and he was like, "Oh, I'm from Liverpool," and I was like, "Oh, does that mean you're a Liverpool supporter?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh, how are they doing?" He was like, "They're really bad." And I was like, "Oh, really?" So that's interesting to hear that they got the money, but they're still bad.
Well, they're probably like the Dallas Cowboys. Like, they're super valuable.
Yeah, I think so.
But they're just not. They don't win. The one thing that I have learned about the Premier League over the last couple weeks is that Tottenham Hotspur, they're basically like the Cleveland Browns of the Premier League.
Well, yes, it's funny you said that, and I think I said this. I don't know if I said it to you on the show or if I said it to someone else, but the friend that I asked for like a breakdown of the Premier League, like I asked him for, you know, I was saying I wanted to get into it, like, give me a little bit of a breakdown. He sent me this whole Google Drive about like what different teams were and like who their NFL and NBA comparables were and all these different things. But he is a big Arsenal fan, and me and my other friend Jack were like, we should get into the Premier League. Well, I said it, but my friend Jack was getting really into the World Cup, and I was like, should we pick a Premier League team and like become supporters? And I was like, I know that Adamo is an Arsenal supporter. My friend Michael is an Arsenal supporter, And my friend Jack said, we should pick their rivals. Who is it? And he said it's Tottenham, but they had their worst season in 20 years this last year. So I was like, that could be my new Cleveland Browns, and I could really support, another terrible team. That would be so much fun, wouldn't it? So I don't know if I can do that again to myself, but I might have to.
Yeah. I feel like it's like deeper than that too. Like I feel like it's been years of pain for Tottenham Hotspur based on what I've understand. Like I think they've been decent, but they have nothing like to show for anything.
Uh-huh.
So
yeah,
that
sounds like it might be my team.
Might be your new team.
Last thing on Haaland, I did see another video too. I saw of him like I don't know if the social media coordinator for Norway or what was like with him, but they were at this restaurant and they were like sitting outside and not even like a restaurant. Maybe they were even like just waiting to be seated. And these two like American ladies came up to them and they were like older and they were like, "Hi, someone over there said that like one of you guys is like one of the best soccer players in the world." And he like pointed to his buddy and he was like, "Yeah, it's him. It's him." And they were like, "Oh, are you guys both on the Norway team? Like whatever." And he was like, "I'm the social media manager for the team." and he just like was very, again, like humble and like down to earth, and he was making jokes with them and stuff. So that's another, like, I don't know. I do like him, but yeah, I don't think I'll be a Man City supporter at all.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a little too far for me.
Yeah. I just can't. If it's not Man City and not Holland, I don't know who I'm going to root for. So I'm probably just going to wait until the next World Cup. I do like Jude Bellingham a lot too, so that kind of stinks. It's been fun to watch him on England. It's really cool. Like after the games, I think they've been singing like "Hey Jude," so by the Beatles. So that's been pretty great.
I like that.
I'm not a fan of like
one thing
England,
that's weird,
but like the Beatles. I mean. Doesn't get much better than that. They
I
like
love the Beatles.
They announced their roster with like "Come Together" by the Beatles. It was a sick video, and then now doing like "Hey Jude," I'm like, I might be pulling for England here to get it done this year.
That's not too shabby. Well, we'll talk about this in the final segment a little bit more too. But Argentina and England play today. The winner of that will be in the final against Spain. Again, going into the semifinals, France against Spain and England against Argentina, a lot of people thought it was going to be a rematch of 4 years ago, Argentina and France. And now France gets bounced. So England does have, like, the script isn't written for it to be a rematch of last World Cup. So England does, they have that mojo for them going at least. So it will be interesting to see. I'm excited to try to watch the game today around 3:00 here from Philadelphia. I am a little bit upset that I missed the World Cup games here. The last one was on July 4th. I didn't move until July 14th. So I was about 10 days late, but I would have liked to go see one. That would have been fun.
Well, those tickets were ridiculous too. Like the cheapest ones were like $2,000. It's a shame that these semifinal games are at 3 p.m. I mean,
yeah, I know. I think that's interesting. I think it's maybe for the rest of the world to watch it a little bit.
Yeah, but but
it is
I'm pretty sure when the World Cup was in Qatar, like those games were happening in the middle of the night for us. Like,
yeah,
come on now, you got to play the games that make sense for the country that's hosting it. Like this
not
should
as
be
accessible.
An 8 p.m. game.
Not as accessible as we'd like it to be, but this show is, of course, always accessible. Make sure you're listening to us on WSRR Radio on Fridays at 10 a.m. if you want us as new as possible, or anywhere you get your podcasts. Stick with us through this break for our last segment here on WSRR Radio.
Independent music has always been about doing things your own way, not cutting corners, not chasing trends, and definitely not handing everything off to someone who doesn't care about the end result. That's where Hellbender Vinyl comes in. Hellbender Vinyl is Pittsburgh's first and only custom vinyl record pressing plant trusted by artists across the country. They work hands-on with independent musicians to make sure each release sounds right and feels right start to finish. Every project includes 5 free test presses, so quality isn't a guessing game, it's built right into the process. So, if you're serious about your music and how it's released, don't settle for disposable formats. Press it with Hellbender Vinyl. Hellbent on quality, hellbent on service, hellbendervinyl.com.
Calling it like they see it. Lucas and Dom are back on WSRR Radio.
Welcome back to Behind Enemy Lines right here on WSRR Radio, brought to you by our proud partners at Hellbender Vinyl. Hellbender is Pittsburgh's first and only custom vinyl record pressing plant, perfect for local and independent artists, just like the ones we play here on WSRR Radio, who want to take their album release to the next level. Don't settle for a bunch of ones and zeros floating around the internet. Have a physical album release with Hellbender Vinyl. Hellbent on quality, hellbent on service, hellbendervinyl.com. Get your music pressed on vinyl today. Press high-quality records with great customer service and fast turnaround times. Financing options available for as low as $87 a month. 87, Dom.
It's pretty good.
$87 a month.
Can't beat
87 was my college football number for my final season of college football. So there you go. There's something to take home with you.
Don't forget it. That'll be on the
Dom,
final.
This last week we had a big UFC event. You're kind of our MMA expert on the show. Conor McGregor, first fight since he fought Dustin Poirier in 2021, right?
I feel like it was before that, right?
Really?
Maybe more recent than that.
Was it that long ago? But he fought
like,
Max Holloway. By the way, I do have to correct some things. Jude Bellingham does not play for Manchester City. I don't know why I thought that. I thought I saw an interview where Bellingham and Erling Haaland were like talking about something, or they interviewed Haaland and he said something about the fact that they played together. I don't know. I was absolutely tripping. He plays for Real Madrid, who's not even in the Premier League. Also, I also looked up, Liverpool didn't even have a bad season last year. So maybe he was talking about a different team, the guy on my honeymoon. I don't know. There's too much going on in soccer. This is the one thing, to go back to soccer quickly, the one thing that keeps me away from becoming a football supporter every single time that I try is that there's the Premier League, and then there's the Champions League, the UEFA League, and then there's these cups, the FA Cup and the Emirates Cup, like all these different competitions. It's like there's like 20 different things, and there's different leagues, and every country has like a different league, and every league has different subdivisions, and there's just a million teams.
There are too many teams. There's too many leagues. Too many tournaments. It's way too much.
The other thing about the Premier League too that kind of upsets me is like I feel like in the NFL and the NBA, like American pro leagues. Now this is also because America's a lot bigger, but like teams are separated by geography. Like, you know what I mean? Like the Cleveland Browns, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Philadelphia Eagles, like they like are representing a city.
Yeah.
Like London has like 10 different teams in it.
Okay.
Like there are like a ton. And I mean, again, London's a huge city, but like there are I feel like there's 100 teams that are like London football clubs.
Yeah. Okay. Now this is starting to make sense to me because I was in the last segment. I was like, I don't even know what these like names are supposed to mean, but I guess they're like neighborhoods of. A lot of them are just
London.
Neighborhoods of London, yeah.
Basically, yeah.
So that's pretty interesting. I get how that.
Yeah,
could
that's
be.
like a whole nother part where it's like that kind of makes it confusing to me as well.
I mean, how many of them are playing in the same stadium, or do they all have their own?
That's another thing. I'm like, where are they getting all these stadiums?
Yeah, because I was like, theoretically, like New York City could probably have, multiple. They already have multiple NFL teams. If the NFL really wanted to, you could probably have 10 NFL teams in New York City, just on how big it is. But that would be dumb.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, but then they'd have to build more stadiums, obviously.
And the stadium issue, unless everyone played at MetLife, that wouldn't be possible.
Well, obviously, you couldn't have 10 teams playing at MetLife.
You'd have to build a couple more. You'd have to build a few more
I'd say
stadiums.
So. But anyway, we're across the pond anyway talking about soccer, so we can stay across the pond and talk about an Irish bloke.
Uh-huh.
Conor McGregor. Yeah, so what? This was his first fight in however many years.
You're right. It was 2021, which seems crazy to me. That seems bizarre. It does not seem like it's been 5 years since he
second
last
fight
fought.
in a row as well that ends in an injury for him, a lower body injury. As he tore his ACL, correct?
I haven't seen an official diagnosis yet, but yeah, it was something in his knee. Last time he broke his leg, and that one was much worse. Like you saw him actually like break his leg and stuff. This one, it looks like he just landed on wrong, like planted or twisted something wrong, and he comes out flying. The fight only lasted a minute in 10 seconds, I'm pretty sure. He comes out flying with a few kicks, and he's trying to kick him with the leg that broke. And I saw some people online like saying like, oh, he just had this mad idea a few years ago, like because he has titanium in that leg that he shattered against Poirier. He's like, I'm gonna hit him with the titanium leg. He's gonna drop, and he just forgot to do everything else, it seems like, and comes out there, busts his knee up, and I don't even think Max Holloway threw a punch really. So it was a massive disappointment. I don't know if he was injured coming into the fight. I think he was. Like if I had a gun to my head, you said, is he injured before this fight? I'd say yeah. Like you don't come out here, and that just doesn't happen to a professional athlete. Like I don't know. It just seemed too weird. He didn't look as I don't know. Everything about
he looked off, huh?
Yeah, I think so. Like before the fight, he's walking to the octagon. He's taking off his shoes, and he just doesn't look like steady. He doesn't look like a guy who used to just fly around and be like the most nimble, agile guy in the UFC.
I did see a clip of that. He was like taking off his shoes and like stumbled, and like now in his defense, like again, first fight in 5 years. I'm sure he was very nervous. His heart was probably pumping. This next part's not in his defense, but he's also like a psycho. So like, and like he's gotten into some bad stuff over the last however many years. Like, I don't know if, I don't want to like spectate or, what's the word I'm looking for? Theorize. But like, I don't know, was he on drugs or something? Like, I feel like he's had that like issues somewhat like that in the past, and he's a mad lad, and he's I don't know, he just doesn't seem like the most like trustworthy and upstanding guy. He's got some issues, and even if it wasn't substance issues, like he's definitely got CTE or something. Like he's
Probably.
got he's absolutely insane.
I mean, the sad thing is he has been like in the last probably year, he's been like kept a pretty clean image outside of like the things that have come out through stuff in like legal processes. Like things that have came out, headlines that of things that have happened years ago have been awful. He did probably horrible, like unforgivable things probably, but it did seem like he was trying to like, be a better person. I believe like in redemption. I thought like maybe he was getting a little bit more religious and stuff. I don't know. I was hoping, and there's still a chance that he's like still, in the process of becoming a better person. But this fight, like it's got to send him back to rock bottom. And some of the tweets he was sending out was like pretty sad. So, and I just don't see a way that he ever has another comeback. Like this was his comeback. You don't stop fighting for 5 years and then you tear something in your knee a minute into it. You can't wait another 5 years to come back.
Yeah,
like it's just over, and it's all of it's just very
tough.
sad.
I mean, I think people were ready for him to like already have hung him up though, like and be retired. Like, does this type of showing like hurt his legacy in a way? Which I feel like this happens with a lot of UFC fighters, where like people don't talk about it as much with like fighters as they do with like NBA players and stuff, I think, because I feel like people are like, well, he's a fighter, he's just going to go out and fight, like that's what he wants to do, like, so even if he does do it when he's past his prime and gets knocked out, like that's just whatever. Like, does this affect his like legacy as one of the best fighters of all time the way it would like if LeBron went out and was on a 20-win team this year? I mean, of course, with LeBron, it's different because everyone's always trying to tear down LeBron. But like, does this hurt his greatness?
I don't think it does, because one, it was like the most forgettable fight of all time. Like nothing happened in it outside of him tearing his knee. And then of course you have the fight before where his leg just completely snaps, and that's just a freak accident. So I don't think that hurts his legacy either. And then the other thing is, I don't remember the last fight Muhammad Ali had. I don't remember the last fight Mike Tyson had. You just don't remember like the last fights. You remember the great moments.
You remember Mike Tyson's last fight. Come on.
I do. You're right. I do remember that one. But like that one, like I try to forget. Like that's not even a real fight.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, exactly.
But like Muhammad Ali, unless you're like a real boxing like nerd, no one knows what his last fight is. You know, like the big fights though.
Yeah, that is true. So now with his again, do you ever think he'll fight again, or do you think this has got to be it?
I think it has to be it, unless it's like a fake fight in the future.
I would hope
like
it's
Jake
it.
Paul.
Yeah, well, yeah, maybe. I would hope for his sake that it is it. First off, but
I mean, I just don't know. Like by the time he's able to return, who's he gonna fight? That's actually an interesting matchup. Like maybe Dustin Poirier, like Max Holloway. There's nothing. There's no juice with that matchup. You'd have to find the right matchup. If Khabib comes out of retirement, like again, like it all comes down to money because like people would pay to see McGregor. He's still gonna be selling out arenas if he does come back. So there's definitely a chance. I wouldn't completely rule it out, but I think, like you said, for his sake, it's probably best if this is his last UFC fight.
And I think it was a little symbolic almost that these two are on the same card, but I think that going from one, European, English European, whatever guy who's great on the mic to going to another one that won on that night, Paddy Pimblett seems to be like the hot name that everyone wants. Like he's one of the names that everyone wants to see. He's really good on the mic, just like Conor McGregor was. Like, give me the UFC like scoop on Pimblett, because he seems to be again the hot name that people want to see. But how far is he from like getting a title shot? Like what weight class is he in? What's going on there? Because I don't know if he has lost a lot, but it seems like he's, I only ever see him winning and getting knockouts and things.
Yeah. Well, like you said, he is like a highlight reel type of guy, and he's like great on the mic, which I feel like the UFC has been lacking for some time. You had McGregor. I thought Israel Adesanya was also a great fighter and great on the mic and super charismatic, and they were just missing some of that. Like their stars right now, it was like Ilia Topuria and Islam Makhachev, and like they're amazing fighters. They're fantastic. They're absolute killers, but
they don't have the same charisma.
Exactly. They just don't have the charisma that Paddy Pimblett has. Paddy is a lightweight, which was the division that McGregor used to fight in as well. I think lightweight those have been like the most best fights historically.
That's usually kind of the premier weight class that people want to see.
So Paddy is 24-4. He has been around for a while, and for a little bit it was ups and downs. He couldn't really like get over the hump. But this last fight was versus Saint Denis, who was like the number 5 guy in the lightweight division. So this was a big one to give him that push to get that chance at a title. So I think I don't know if the next fight will be for the title, but probably 2 fights from now, if he wins the next one, would probably be a chance for the belt. And I think that would be the best thing possible for the UFC, because
for the UFC as a whole. Because again, he's the character. He's got the charisma. He's on mic. He's fun to watch. He's again another guy like Holland, to go back to him, like down to earth, very chill, like a kind of relatable guy in a way. He's very open with everything. Another thing about him, like he just gets fat after his fights with it, which I think is funny. And he's just like, yeah, whatever. Like I'd rather be fat and happy than skinny and a 6-pack and sad, which is again a relatable sentiment. But yeah, he's the guy to watch. I feel like he's the guy that they gotta support.
Yeah, and he's won 8 of his last 9 fights, which I think that dates back to 2021. The last fight he lost, though, was the one prior to this match he had versus Benoit Saint Denis. He lost to Justin Gaethje by decision back in January 2026. And Gaethje is a legend. Gaethje, though, he's getting older, though, so like his time is up. He just won the lightweight title from Ilya Topuria at Freedom 250 at the White House. So Gaethje
right.
is the champion right now. Could be set up for another rematch. But like I said, Gaethje is a UFC legend, just the most consistent, probably like top to bottom, one of the best fighters all time in UFC.
Top to bottom, one of the best of all time. Just like top to bottom, this is everyone's favorite show.
100%.
A sports show on WSR Radio. Number one sports show right here, top to bottom, from WSR Radio. So stick with us next week right here, Friday at 10 a.m. on WSR Radio. Thank you guys for joining us on Behind Enemy Lines.
Peace.
The preceding program was a sponsored production. The views, claims, and ideas expressed may not represent those of WSRR Radio.